What's going on, everyone? XLot804 here, and today I want to go through the DMZ update. I'm glad that they're adding more stuff to this mode because I want it to be successful. Call of Duty tends to try something new, but they kind of halfway it, like they don't full send it, and it doesn't do very well, and it kind of falls off the face of the earth, and they never come back to it. But it's nice to see that they're investing more time into this DMZ mode. So let's go ahead and go through the notes and take a look at it. All right, so the first thing here is this barter system where you'll be able to exchange valuables at buy stations for other valuables. Now, I don't know what their definition of valuables is in the game, right? Because it could be things in the game like trading a gold bar for like maybe like a laptop, like another valuable item, I guess. I'm not sure. I will say that it would be interesting to see if the valuables are like you trade in a gold bar for like sleight of hand. Like that would be interesting, right? Being able to go in and collect various items and then trade them for perks or other things, maybe like maybe not equipment, but like I think perks would be a step in the right direction. That would be really interesting because I mean, if you don't feel like having trying to survive and do that other thing to get perks, being able to trade in like 3 gold watches for like sit rep or whatever that perk is that allows you to track footsteps or see claymores through walls, like that would make those items that are on the ground, like your light bulbs and like your cans of sugar or coffee or whatever that junk is, it would make it worth picking that stuff up if you could trade them at the station. And then you could even run to the nearest buy station, see what it wants, and then go loot the areas around it and then come back. So that would make those ground loot items much more viable. I know some people will pick them up for questing, but not everybody's there to quest. So I think that would be a really good idea if you could trade gold bars or laptops or whatever for perks. That would be a really cool step in the right direction, or even kill streaks. All right, so now we're looking at the workbench. I actually put out a video on this like way back, maybe like a few weeks after season 1 launched of DMZ. And essentially, I was wanting it to be where there was a mission, there was a contract where you destroy like a weapons cache inside like a stronghold type building. And my recommendation was to make that contract give you the option to workbench essentially a contraband weapon, and then you could put whatever attachments you wanted on it to make it like a usable item. It looks like they're kind of one step further and made it a little more simplified, and they're just going to make it to where you can just workbench any contraband gun you find. I'm okay with that too. I think the way I suggested it makes the contract more relevant other than just getting XP, because it's like a simple, you run in there, you shoot all the AI, you blow, you blow up whatever the thing is, and you're kind of done. But it just kind of makes that contract still dead. But I'm still open to being able to just workbench your stuff too. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't want to talk more about it. I have a video for it if you want to go see it. I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, I'm glad that they're at least allowing us to workbench the contraband weapons because they're pretty bad, and it's kind of annoying trying to fight people who are going in with their guns and you have a crappy contraband gun. So cool. I think it's a small W. Scrolling down here, we have active duty operator slots. Essentially, these are gear sets for like load, like yeah, not gear sets, but like it's like a custom loadout for you when you go into DMZ. So like if I get on for the day and I'm waiting for my buddies to get on, I could quickly put gear on 1, 2, and 3. I see number 4 over here, so I guess you unlock them through contracts. But you could essentially put on, whatever armor plate vest you want, and your self revive, whatever stuff you want to put on, and you could do that for all 3. So I guess when you die, you come back and just move to the next one. Or I guess if you're playing by yourself, you might use this one, but not use like number 3, which might have all your gear and stuff on it, like something like that. I think it would be better just to have a stash similar to Tarkov, maybe minus the Tetris. Even if you look at the keys, you can take keys off and on as you want, but you can't do that with armor plates. You can't do that with self revives and all the other things. You can only do that with keys, right? I think they should just enable those systems for those other items and just have one operator that you take stuff off and on. Like if you don't want to run a 3-plate vest, just take it off and put it back in your stash and you'll just go in automatically with the one. I think this is kind of a step in the right direction. I don't know if they just don't want to do a stash or like do the key system. It feels like they're avoiding that, and like they want to do it like this way so that they can say it's unique. I don't know what copyright and all that looks like, and so I guess it's okay. It's a step in the right direction. It's a small W, but I think I would still prefer a stash over having to set up 3 different characters. But moving on to the new faction that's being added. Honestly, I don't think anyone's invested in the factions of the game. Of course, I can't speak for the community. I mean, I know there's skins that can be unlocked, which are they're kind of so skins that can be unlocked through doing the contracts, but Me personally, I was not invested in who they were, what they were about, or anything like that. It's just kind of, to me, it's just like, okay, I'm just doing these contracts for these guys. Like, you know, it's just, and that was it. I never looked into it or felt anything more than that. The contracts themselves, I think the contracts are kind of unique, and shooting down helicopters and riding around, activating all the SAM turrets, or chasing down other players and eliminating them and getting their dog tags. Like, that stuff wasn't bad. I didn't have an issue with the contracts themselves, although some of them were tedious and kind of buggy. Like, I think there was one where you had to go like do some stuff around a crane or whatever, but I don't even want to get into the details. But what I don't like about the contracts is not necessarily the contracts, it's the reward for doing the contracts. You know, you get like another operator insured weapon slot. Now, I don't know if they're doing away with that because they're adding operators that you can use. So I don't know if they're replacing that, or if it's like, I don't, I think they're going to work together. So like, you have an operator, but one operator might have a contraband gun while the other one has an insured gun. I don't really know how that's going to work, but it doesn't make that big of a difference. At the end of the day, the contracts need to offer better stuff. Like, once I complete all the contracts for a faction, maybe I should just have a permanent perk unlocked for the duration of the season or something like that. Something that will impact your every game you go into. I mean, the weapon slot is cool, I guess, you know, but it's just like, you could die instantly and now you're waiting on cooldown. Of course, you can use money and stuff to unlock it again, and contraband guns now have weapon attachments that you can put on them. So I feel like that alone kind of makes the insured weapon slot thing kind of obsolete, kind of. So it's like, I don't know. I think the contracts need to offer better rewards that impact your every game session and kind of give you a good quality of life change. Things that you see, like the rewards you get for the weapon insured slot, you probably aren't even going to feel that, you know. So I don't know. I just know that the rewards for the contracts, finishing out the faction and all that stuff, other than XP, it needs to be better. You know, there needs to be something that's worth chasing. You know, like maybe if you finish this faction, maybe you have permanent access to that new area they added, Area 21 or whatever it was. Maybe if you complete all the contract missions, now you have permanent access to Area 21 and you can go in there and PvP in-game area or whatever to your heart's content. You know, then it would be worth doing that because you're getting access to an area that most people don't have access to. And, you know, that sounds more rewarding to me than just unlocking another weapon slot. But yeah, so hopefully they expand on the contracts and hopefully they buff the missions to give the more unique rewards. I won't talk on that too much because I've already made a video. But there's one unique reward I had in mind was just that, like, if you did one of the missions where you had to get in a water boat and like deliver the boat somewhere, it'd be cool if that unlocked like a new extract along the water part of the map that you could then go to that people wouldn't know about. Some, you know, just that's just one example. I have a whole video about it. I'll put it up on the screen so you can like look it and hit the link or whatever. But yeah, okay, enough of this part. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, so we have new bosses here. I think a new boss is cool. I think having multiple bosses on the map would be ideal. Of course, the problem with the bosses is that the replay value isn't there. I mean, the Juggernaut case, I mean, if they add a new skin or something unique to grind for, then yeah, people will grind it for the beginning part of the season to get the 7 slots so they can get that cool skin or whatever it is. And the last season 1 when I played was the guy with the gas mask. That was cool. That was worth going and fighting for. But as soon as I got the skin, I never went back to fight the Juggernaut. And then the boss who drops the M13 blueprint, that was cool. I kind of like the idea. But once you kill him and you get out that one time, it's like there's no reason for you to go back to the boss. Like, after you get that kill and you extract and maybe you help your buddies, after that, there's no reason to go back. So they need to add stuff to the boss. They need to add like cool drops, unique items. Like maybe like you get like a 4-plate vest if you kill the boss, but that's the only way to get the 4-plate vest is to kill the boss. Well, now you have a reason to go back, you know? So they need to think more stuff. They need to think more heavily about the rewards that players get for doing these things. Because if the reward is a one and done type thing, well, then it becomes obsolete the moment it gets completed. Whereas killing the boss will always be something you want to do so that you can get that 4-plate vest so you have the advantage when you fight other players. So this is just food for thought. I don't want to go too deep into it. Overall, I like that they're adding stuff to the mode. I think that's a good thing. The mode needs attention. But I think as for an extraction shooter mode, they really need to look at what can they put in the game that is worth players extracting. Right now, everything gets converted to money, and there's XP, I guess. But if those things don't matter to you, it's just kind of like, what am I coming in here to leave out with? If I want PvP, I'll just play Warzone, you know? So if they could add some stuff into the game, being able to carry out your own, stack your armor plate vest so you have a stash of those. Being able to maybe carry perks out. Maybe there's like, maybe if you pick up sleight of hand, you can hit the button to use it, and then for the duration of that run, you have sleight of hand, or you keep it in your bag and then you can extract with it, and then you can put sleight of hand on another run. Maybe you use that operator slot for like area 21 only, and you want to have sleight of hand when you go into the area. Then all of a sudden you have things that are worth extracting with that you don't want to die with. And then it kind of gives you that excitement, like, oh, I don't want to lose this. Maybe I don't fight these guys because I don't want to die or take that chance. You see what I'm saying? So until they find out ways to encourage people to want to leave with, special items, this mode is going to continue to fall flat after the first week or two of an update because there's nothing that really keeps you coming back to the mode. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think on the DMZ changes. Do you like it? I mean, I would feel like most of us would like it, but does it feel lackluster? Do you want more from it? Do you think DMZ is in a good place? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you made it this far, consider dropping a like for your boy, maybe even a follow, sub. Have a good day or night, depending on where you are. GGs and stay safe. Peace.